Firstly, the country's intelligence system, as far as the picture that has been painted last week, was completely broken. A large part of that having to do with the kind of decisions that were taken by individuals that were deployed by your party into government. What is the ANC's response?
Look, at the principal level, it is important to state that the allegations that have been made at the Zondo Commission are quite worrisome. But I think you would remember that the ANC at its conference took resolutions that sought to really improve how governance is being run. And flowing from that, the Zondo Commission was actually brought into place or established to ensure that we actually know how deep are these kind of malfeasance. So from the presidency level, the allegations are quite worrisome, and we want to believe that it is also important that we must take a view that says we wait for the finalization of the commission, because all those that are being accused of malfeasance, they must also have the opportunity to actually respond to these allegations. But they are worrisome. The ANC has always taken also a principled decision that the use of money to actually influence organizational processes is quite a huge problem. That is why we've undertaken this kind of a commission and supported it at the conference. So it is quite worrisome, those allegations, but we also have to hear everybody who has been accused of this malfeasance to actually should have an opportunity to respond at the commission.
So when you say that you're waiting for everybody to have their say, is that solely through the structure of the Zondo Commission of Inquiry, or are you worried enough as the ANC about these allegations to begin calling on some of your members who have been implicated to actually have them come account before the party?
Look, we have a process, a political process in place, as you would know. That is the process of Integrity Commission. Secondly, we did not only start now at the commission. We actually instituted the commission, and if you look at some of our diagnostic report did indicate that some of the state security apparatus have been weakened, and that is why since President Ramaphosa was given this mandate to be the steward of the 6th administration, there has been work being done to ensure that investigative institutions are actually revamped. So there is a work that has been carrying on. But part of the process is the Zondo Commission.
But Mr. Basani, clearly there's a difference between having state security systems that have been weakened versus having 9 billion rand, disappear from state security without knowing where it went to. We're told that people had been paid to fight factional battles of the ANC. We're told that some of your leaders who are part of the executive today were middlemen for the transfers of money between your former president and the State Security Agency. So do you think that's enough action to be taken in this instance, given how the weakening of the State Security Agency has actually left South Africa vulnerable?
Look, that's why I started by saying it's quite worrisome, those allegations. Secondly, the ANC has taken that decision to actually go deeper to understand what rot has actually been taking place. But Kathy, as you would know, it is also critical that those who are being accused, because we are a country of laws, those who are being accused of this malfeasance, they also have to get an opportunity to present themselves to the Zondo Commission. So this is not in defense of mishap. It is an issue of process that has to be undertaken. It is not adequate.
Are you going to be asking them to come in account at the very least before the Integrity Committee, even though the work of that structure, might well be, well, they're going to go there and nothing effectively will happen. That will be the response of many South Africans. But even that might give people a sense that the ANC takes some of these allegations very seriously.
We believe that people are beginning to understand the political process that the ANC has put in place internally in the form of the Integrity Commission. And quite now recently, you've seen many people go into the Integrity Commission to explain their conduct, and on regular basis, the Integrity Commission issues out reports on how people have come to account to them. But we're not saying that is the beginning and the end. But the process is beginning to unfold to the extent that the president has, in fact, corroborated the fact that we need to support the work of the Integrity Commission so that all those who are accused of malfeasance, irrespective of who they are, they've got to be
But this is the very same
acted upon.
Integrity Commission that has said to the organization, you don't take us seriously, you don't implement it. The fact that we have to discuss a step-aside rule is in and of itself an obfuscation, because this is not an issue that needs discussing, it simply needs to be implemented. So how can people trust that what has been revealed around the State Security Agency, around how leaders of the ANC have been using that to fight factional battles, how can we trust that that is even going to get attention?
If the ANC was not serious about ensuring that there is action taken against those accused, it would have not supported a process like the Zondo Commission. It would have not supported a process like that of the Integrity Commission. But you would remember, in the process of renewal, you know, we also refine our processes as time goes on. And with regards to the step aside, for an example, we have taken a view that there has to be proper guidelines. In other words, the resolution of conference stays intact, but there has to be proper guidelines. And that is why it has been confirmed even by officials.
But there seems to be lack of consequences, right? That's the impression that is created right now. In fact, not the impression, that is what the status quo is. That despite these allegations, despite whatever well-meaning policies the party may come up with, the reality is that it's a struggle to make those, come to effect.
No, I think the impression is understandable because there has been too many problems and challenges in our organization. But the fact of the matter is there is an effort on the side of the ANC to ensure that whoever is actually accused of anything appears before the Integrity Commission. And I can tell you, Kathy, and we can assure South Africans that people have been appearing before the Integrity Commission. And as you would know, there are people who also, the state institutions are also acting against those who are actually accused of wrongdoing or
Mr. Basani, how are you going to deal with those that are part of your structures and your executive right now that have had these allegations leveled against them? You also have a structure of the, you have the MKMVA that is said to have received money for some of its activities. How are you going to be handling this?
Look, in terms of the acts of criminality, where people have used the state money or emasculated the state resources for political battles and so on, obviously that is criminality. Therefore, the state institutions, that does not have to wait for Integrity Commission. The state institutions have got to act. They must face the law.
But these individuals will still enjoy full membership of the ANC until such a day that those state agencies that you're talking about act.
No, we have political processes on how we deal with such members. That is why we are awaiting a comprehensive guidelines in that regard. So what you must understand, Keith, is that there is a resolution of conference, but that resolution has got to be implemented in such a way that we abide by the rules of the country, because whatever we do, we are subservient to the constitution of the country. So that is why the guidelines are critical.
So effectively, nothing happens to these individuals in the meantime.
When they go to Integrity Commission, does that amount to nothing?
No, but you haven't told me that you're going to be hurling them before the Integrity Committee.
No, it is a given that once a member of the ANC is accused or is alleged to be involved in some criminality or so on, he is obliged to go before the Integrity Commission. Some of the leaders, senior leaders of the ANC, have been going there voluntarily to the Integrity Commission and so on. So members of the ANC are going voluntarily there.
So are you saying that you are expecting the individuals that have been named, the likes of, the Deputy Minister David Mahlobo, the Home Affairs Committee Chair Bongani Bongo and the likes, you're expecting them to go voluntarily to the to the Integrity Committee and give their side of the story when it comes to the allegations that have surfaced at the Zondo Commission?
In a political process, we first start by appealing to the political conscience of a member. And that's what our resolution says. And it further says, once that has not taken place, therefore the structure is therefore obliged to take action.
You don't think that there needs to be a lot more proactive action taken in this instance? We're talking about state security here, and it sounds like it's just another run-of-the-mill allegations that have been made against officials of the ANC, and yet these are the very things that threaten to destabilize our democracy. When we look at part of what these agents that were busy with this work were actually tasked with doing.
No, it may sound like it is just a normal process, but if you look at what the ANC has brought in place, in addition to a disciplinary process, we have adopted a political process. So that is not normal.
Do you not think that they deserve to have their membership suspended, given the gravity of the allegations, until such a time whereas they are given the green light to clear their name?
In a country that is governed by rules, by the Constitution, you cannot act arbitrarily. It does not matter how serious or grave the situation, and that is what our democratic dispensation requires. Therefore, the ANC, in addition to that, it has said, let us put the guidelines in place so that we can be able to act while people are busy at clearing their names and so on. And I think that is one aspect that must be appreciated.
Do you not worry about it, about the continued threat that exists within the state?
Like I've indicated, the allegations that have been made and even the state of organization that we have is quite worrisome. That is why the president of the ANC has gone on a crusade for unity and renewal as mandated by the conference. So that shows that we are not taking the allegations of the state quite easy.
But surely this doesn't require unity or renewal. It requires consequences. It requires consequence management.
Yeah, unity is not about people agreeing. It's also about acting in unison in relation to what binds that particular organization. Renewal itself, it's not one-day event. It is a process. You navigate very steep curves of a dynamic organization like the ANC. Now, had we not considered all these things, we would have just acted arbitrarily on many of our people. But the ANC takes every aspect that affects our people quite seriously.
Let's talk then about this issue of that was also revealed last week, of the State Security Agency paying for apartheid assassin Eugene de Kock's, upkeep since he's been released on parole and being given a 40,000 Rand monthly salary. The entire cost of his upkeep is about 200,000 Rand to the state.
Look, the allegation, like I indicated, it's quite a serious allegation, but I think the state institutions, the relevant ministries, will have time and opportunity to confide in the South Africans as to what are the actual facts and what has actually transpired.
Is that the full view of the ANC, that, well, it's a worrisome issue and that's where you're going to leave it?
No, when we say it's a worrisome issue, it does not mean that we are just sitting around and leaving it there. All that we are trying to demonstrate to the South Africans is that it's a serious concern that needs to be acted upon. We're not just leaving it there. That is why we will demand from our deployees to also confide not only in the ANC but with the South Africans on what has actually transpired in matters of this, especially with the state security, because what has been compromised is not only the state security, it's the national security.
All right.
If these allegations are anything to go by.
Mr. Sibongile Besani, let me thank you so much for coming into studio. I must say, I certainly don't get a sense that anything different is going to happen.
We can't act arbitrarily. That's the fact.
All right, we'll leave it there for tonight.